Welcome back to the crossover January 1st of 2024. Even though this video is probably going to come out on the 2nd, don't tell anybody. I'm sorry, but one thing I can attest to you guys, 2024 will be the best year to date. For me, for you, for us. We have to believe it. This is going to be our year. 2023 was great. We started off this channel. We picked up some momentum. We're at like 150 subs right now. We met some great people through making these videos. And what I can promise you in 2024 is that every single day on this channel, there will be a video for you to watch. Talking about sports, talking about soccer. I have a whole bunch of stuff planned out here on the wall behind that you guys can't see. But we're going to be going to Copa America games that are here in the US. We're going to be covering Copa America. We're going to be covering the Euro. We're going to be covering absolutely everything with you guys. I want to build this nice community where we can talk about sports. We will have our first guest podcast. I believe that. And we're gonna make it work. We're gonna get our first guest. We're gonna talk to a whole bunch of cool players. We're gonna talk to a whole bunch of cool people. We're gonna travel. I'm gonna show you guys the football, soccer environment here in the US. We're gonna be traveling to some different sort of events that we're gonna have here. So promise you, I will be grinding all 2024. You will get a video every single day. And the more that you guys support me, the more that this channel will grow, the more cool stuff we'll be able to do. So please, please, please just hit the sub button. Hit the like button. I promise I will grind for you. If you guys support me back, we can make this into something special. And this morning, I walked downstairs to my mailbox. And I received something that I've been waiting on for a while, actually. And that is the topic of today's video. Because when I opened my mailbox, to the best sports show on the internet, the 2024 script. Now, I'm not supposed to be sharing this with you guys. Alright? I've gotten word from the higher ups that if I share this information here with you guys, I can get into some big trouble. However, y'all are my boys. And if it takes me risking my life to get you guys out the best information, I'm going to do it for you. So this script right here that we have received, best believe I'm telling you, exactly every single champion of 2024. Chronologically, starting from January all the way to December, trophies are going to get raised, and I'm going to tell you exactly who's going to raise what trophy, and you do with that information what you will. And we're going to start off with the college football playoffs, because the final happens on January 8th, and it's going to be the first trophy of 2024 that somebody will lift. We've got Alabama, we've got Washington, we've got Texas, and we've got Michigan. And me, I will never bet against Alabama or the Patriots. It's just something you got to learn. Alabama, you don't bet against them. The Patriots with Tom Brady, you don't bet against them. But much like the Patriots, they no longer have Tom Brady. Does Alabama still have that juice? Does it still have that oomph? And then we've got this Michigan team who's been killing it all year. A little bit of an asterisk behind that cheating scandal or whatever it is. But I'm going to say that the winner of the college football playoffs will be the winner of the game between Alabama and Michigan. I think that Alabama can beat Michigan. I will never bet against Alabama, but I think Michigan is also extremely good, and they have that juice. They have that. We have to prove to the world that we weren't cheating. So I'm going to take Michigan. But again, if Alabama beats Michigan, I think Alabama will beat whoever comes out of the other game between Washington and Texas. Now, staying on football, February 11th, we have the Super Bowl. The biggest game in American sports cycle, calendar, whatever you want to call it. And for me, this is the hardest to predict. I'm going to be completely honest. Got the 49ers, the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Eagles. Hell, even the Detroit Lions. The Bills and the Chiefs can still make something happen. The Rams. However, everybody's saying the 49ers, they're the best team in football. They're the best team in football. They're the best this. They're the best that. Brock Purdy, great story. But when Brock Purdy went up against the Ravens, a couple too many interceptions, a couple too many mistakes. Does he be able to shine in big moments? I don't know. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. The Eagles, they don't give me that Eagle feel that they've had in years past. So I can't take the Eagles. Detroit, they're inexperienced. I can't take Detroit. For me, it's going to be the Ravens or it's going to be the Dolphins. And after what the Ravens just did to the Dolphins, and after what the Ravens just did to the 49ers, the Ravens, the number 1 seed now in the AFC, so you've got to go to Baltimore to play these boys. Oh, yeah. You best believe. Lamar Jackson's holding that trophy on February 11th. Mark it down. Let me move over to the Carabao Cup, February 25th. It's looking like Chelsea versus Liverpool, as long as Chelsea beat Middlesbrough and Liverpool beat Fulham. Last 3 meetings were ties between Chelsea and Liverpool, actually last year in the Carabao Cup final and in the FA Cup final, both going to pens. Kepa misses over the bar. Liverpool wins 11-10. But this year, with Petrovic, I think that Chelsea just needs it more. Chelsea needs a trophy. They've been the banter club for far too long. They've invested far too much. I think that Chelsea needs it more. So on February 25th, Chelsea will lift the Carabao Cup. Trust and believe. Now the Bundesliga, May 18th, that's when it ends. There probably could be a champion before, but I'm going through just chronologically when each league ends. So just stick with me. And I love Leverkusen. Absolutely love Leverkusen. They have Grimaldo, who is our left back at Benfica. We miss him so dearly this year. He was there for so many years and people wanted him out. I never wanted him out. But now that he's out, people are starting to realize the kind of impact that this man had on the field. I also love Xabi Alonso. They haven't lost a game this season. They tied Bayern, who is 1 point behind them. Xabi is no longer going to Madrid, so maybe does this open the door for him going to Bayern? I don't know. However, I think that, again, you don't bet against Alabama, you don't bet against the Patriots, and you don't bet against Bayern Munich to win the Bundesliga, especially after last year when it came down to the very end. Somehow Bayern still ended up champion, and I believe that Leverkusen is great. However, what happens when they lose that first game? Do they start spiraling, or are they able to bounce back quickly? I think that they'll start spiraling, so I'm going to take Bayern to win the Bundesliga. Now, League 1, PSG wins, move on, not much to say. The Premier League, Liverpool, Villa, City, Arsenal, Tottenham. 3 points separate all of these players. Tottenham, 6 points behind. And I love Villa. I love Villa. I love everything that's going on with that program right now. I love it for the fan base. They have a great fan base. Jack, one of the guys on Instagram, big content creator here in the US. I'm loving this for him. I'm loving the moment that he's going through. Being a Villa fan for so long and finally getting up there and maybe smelling a championship. But I don't think it'll happen. Tottenham, they were playing great in the beginning of the year. They're kind of falling off a little bit. And I think that they'll get back into the Champions League. But the Premier League is a different story. Arsenal, their slip has already started. Okay, it's the same thing happened last year. Top of the league at Christmas, the slip started, and that was that. The slip has already started now. I don't see Arsenal doing it. So for me, it's going to be Liverpool or it's going to be City. Liverpool does have a tougher schedule here to end out the Premier League season. City usually plays their best football late in the year when they're going to Champions League finals, when they're in contention for a treble. They usually start playing their best kind of football. They go through this little slump every year. They're going to be able to figure it out. Guardiola's going to be able to figure it out. I think that City is going to win the Premier League again. While I might not like it, I think that City will win the Premier League again. Now we go over to the Europa League, whose final is on May 22nd. And we've got Liverpool, Leverkusen. We've got Brighton, West Ham, who won the Conference League last year. Roma, who last year went to the final and lost. And the year before that, they won the Conference League. We have Sporting, who's been playing great football in Portugal. Great football. And I think they can surprise a lot of people. As long as their striker, Gyökeres, doesn't leave now in January, they can make a push. Don't forget that they were the ones that eliminated Arsenal last year. We've got AC Milan, Galatasaray, who just did what they did to Manchester United. And then we have my beloved Benfica. And while my heart wants to come on here and say confidently that Benfica will win the Europa League, and I still believe that in my mind, I have to remain unbiased for you guys. So Leverkusen or Liverpool have to be the two favorites, quote unquote. I could see AC Milan doing something with Captain Pulisic, Mr. LeBron James, with Rafael Leão running down the other wing, smiling his way to a Europa League. However, I think in the end, Liverpool will have just a little bit too much class. Liverpool will be a little bit too good for the rest of the teams, and I think that Liverpool will take the Europa League. Now we go on to the FA Cup, whose final is May 25th, 3 days after the Europa League. We've got City, United, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal. Liverpool and Arsenal are actually playing each other right now in this next round, so only one of them will go through. Newcastle. But the story that I'm excited for is Leicester coming back, playing against Premier League sides. They have 8 points and a 33 goal differential in the championship, so they're clearly dominating over there. But what happens when Leicester comes back into the Premier League, or comes back to play against Premier League clubs? Can you imagine that run that they went on to win the Premier League? Can you imagine they just do the same thing and win the FA Cup? What a story that would be. But for me, I've got a feeling Villa, they're playing great football. They might not have enough juice for the Premier League, but they're going to win something this year. And I think that something is going to be the FA Cup. So I'm going Villa to win the FA Cup. Stamp it. Now La Liga ends May 26th. Girona and Madrid 7 points above Atletico de Madrid and Barcelona. Girona's only loss is to Madrid. Madrid's only loss is to Atleti. I love the Girona story. And one thing I hope, regardless, is that they find a way to get themselves into the Champions League, because it would be so big for that club. Apparently, there's some issues between them and Manchester City having the same owner. Now, I don't know how this worked with Red Bull, because Red Bull has Leipzig and Salzburg at the same time in the Champions League, and clearly they have the same owner. But whatever Red Bull did to kind of get to bypass that law, I hope that Girona is able to do the same thing and get into the Champions League, even though Manchester City is there, even though they have the same owner. So I hope that Girona can figure something out, and if not, I guess go to the Super League. I love the Girona story. I'm not betting against Madrid. Never am. Never betting against Madrid. I do think that their lack of striker, we're going to talk about this here in a little bit later on, I do think that their lack of a striker could come back to haunt them, but do you really think Girona is going to win the La Liga? I don't. It could happen. Serie A, May 26th, ends on the same day as La Liga, and this finishes out our top 5 leagues here. We've got Inter and Juve, 2 points separating them, and then Milan is 9 points back. Inter is obviously extremely good. Inter's been going through a great period of time. Obviously, last year getting to the Champions League final. This year, still again in the Champions League. They have Atletico de Madrid, and I think that they're going to beat Atletico de Madrid, which means that they'll have some more Champions League games. Juve has nothing else to focus on other than the Serie A. Juve traditionally always wins that league. Inter coming up. I think that this is the year that Juve gets back on top and wins the Serie A, because I think that Inter is going to be focused on the Champions League, trying to do what they couldn't finish last year, while Juve has no other distractions. Now we go over to the Conference League, which is on May 29th. Frankfurt, super tough place to play. Ajax. They're not the same Ajax as in years past, but Ajax is Ajax. Fiorentina, who made it all the way to the Conference League final last year, ultimately losing it to West Ham, but they made it to the final. Lille, Aston Villa, Club Brugge. And like I said, I love Villa. I love the way that they're playing. And they're going to win a trophy, so I'm going to make them down to be Conference League champions as well. Villa will win the FA Cup and will win the Conference League. Mark it down. And then on June 1st, the start of the summer of soccer that we're going to have begins with the Champions League. Where obviously we've got the big dogs. Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester City. PSG don't have the juice. PSG don't have it. Mbappe's looking sad. Mbappe's trying to leave. He's got a cutoff until January 15th, so we've got 2 weeks to decide whether or not he's going to Madrid. I think Sociedad is going to be the dark horse in this Champions League run, and I think that they're actually going to beat PSG. So PSG will be done there. Inter had a great run last year. However, they did kind of were on the luckier side of the draw, and they robbed my Benfica. It should have been Benfica in the final, but we don't talk about that. Arsenal, again, we talked about it. They're slipping in the Premier League, and I think that they're actually going to lose to Porto. I don't even think that they make it into the next round of the Champions League. Last year, losing to Sporting. If you lose to Sporting, you're probably going to lose to Porto. Sporting, traditionally the third best team in the Portuguese league. Madrid's lack of striker, I feel like, is going to hold them back a little bit. Yes, they have Vinny, they have Rodrigo, they have some good players up top. Brahim Diaz, who's been coming on as of late. However, Jose Lu at striker, you really think you're going to win a Champions League with Jose Lu at striker? City, it's hard to repeat, man. It's hard to repeat. It's hard to go back to back in the Champions League. That's why it was so amazing what Real Madrid was doing back in the day. So for me, I'm going to go down, and you can't bet against these guys neither. They play great football. Unless they beat themselves, they can beat anybody else. Maybe City could stop them. But Bayern Munich, with Harry Kane leaves Tottenham, and the very first year that he's gone, he wins the Bundesliga and he wins the Champions League. What a damn story. I'm going to go Bayern Munich winning the Champions League. Stamp it. And now we've got the Stanley Cup hockey. Now, mind you, out of all the takes that I can give you, football, I think I have the best takes. All right? Soccer, best takes. American football, I feel like my takes are pretty good. Hell, I'll even give you some decent baseball takes. But one thing I'll say is my hockey takes might not be the best, so don't grill me in the comments. But we've got the Rangers, the Bruins, the Panthers, who last year had a whole bunch of injuries at the Stanley Cup, which is what kind of led to their downfall. The Golden Knights, can they go back-to-back? The Canucks, we finally have a Canadian team that's in contention. They actually have the most points out of anybody in the NHL right now. And then we have my New Jersey Devils. And I'm always going to tell you that the Devils, this is our year. Even though it's not, it's our year till it isn't. Canadian team hasn't won since 1993. Kind of hard to believe. It's your sport, and you let all these Americans win it. Come on, Canada. Tee up. Maybe the Canucks can go and do something this year. And I hate to say it, but I feel like the New York Rangers or the Boston Bruins will be champions this year. The Rangers obviously off to a great start. They've got a really good team, although they usually kind of choke in the playoffs. Once they get to the playoffs, that's kind of the time of year, just like the Dallas Cowboys. They start kind of slipping up, and this starts happening, and this guy starts talking bad about this guy. Whatever. We don't talk about it. The Boston Bruins obviously had a historic season last year, most points in a regular season, just to be first-round exits to those Florida Panthers. So I personally think if I'm going to take somebody, I'm going to take the Bruins. I feel like they have to come back and prove something, so I'm going to take the Bruins there. Then we have the NBA Finals on June 23rd, and this is going to be in the middle of a crazy summer because we're going to have Copa America, we're going to have Euro, we're going to talk about those here in a little bit, but the NBA Finals, we've got the Magic, we've got the Thunder, two young teams that have been going off here in the beginning of the season. We've got the Timberwolves also off to a great start, number one in the West, Cat and Edwards. You can never count out the in-season champions. Lakers with LeBron James. The Suns, if they get healthy, if Bradley Beal comes out and balls out, can they do something with Bradley Beal, KD, and Devin Booker? The Clippers, they went on a great winning streak. Can they do something with James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George? Can they cement themselves as the team in LA over the Lakers this year? But for me, the favorites are the Celtics, the Bucks, 76ers, and obviously the Nuggets. The Nuggets play great fundamental basketball. The Joker, he doesn't get rattled anywhere he goes. He used to be in Serbia where they were lighting off fireworks inside of the arena. You think some NBA guy chanting at him is going to do something? Absolutely not. Man doesn't even want to be famous. Man just wants to go and play basketball, go home. Sixers, they're going to go far. Again, my team. You can see Jimmy Butler. The Jimmy Butler jersey back there, that is a 76ers jersey. That's my team. However, I do feel like anytime something happens with Jimmy Butler, Game 7, Kawhi shot happens, something always happens to make the 76ers not win it. It happened with Iverson. It's going to happen with Joel Embiid. The Celtics need to win a championship after everything that they've been investing with Jason Tatum. They need to win that chip. The Nuggets, it's really hard to repeat again. Again, going back-to-back in any sport is not easy. But can they do it? Well, for me, Damian Lillard in the playoffs, what he's been waiting for his whole life with a great cast around him, you must be out of your damn mind if you don't think that the Milwaukee Bucks are getting back to the top of the NBA world this year. Mark it down, stamp it. And now, we get into my bread and butter. What I'm most excited for on this channel, we have Copa America and we have the Euro. Copa America, the final is on July 14th. We have Chile, Argentina, Mexico, the United Damn States of America, Uruguay, Colombia, Brazil. And the U.S. will give them a decent fight. However, I don't think that we're going to win it. I know, shocker. The U.S. isn't going to win Copa America. I'm just as shocked as you. Mexico, maybe they could come out and surprise some people. Maybe Santa Jimenez starts picking it up, and maybe they can do something. Brazil, they're going through an extremely tough stretch. However, I do think that they'll figure it out, and I hope that they'll figure it out. But they're going to have to do it without Neymar. Argentina, clear favorites. Not much to say there. They just won the World Cup. They've already won the Copa America, trying to win the Copa America again. However, there's a team that recently beat Argentina in World Cup qualifiers. A team that is stacked from top to bottom. Darwin Núñez, Araujo, Valverde, Ugarte, Pellistri, Jimenez, and that is Uruguay. Yes, you hear it, Uruguay, who knocked out my Portugal in the World Cup. Not the past World Cup, but 2 World Cups ago, but we don't talk about that. I think that Uruguay is going to win this Copa America. We're actually going to be going to one of the Uruguay games early on. June 27th, we will be at Uruguay versus Bolivia at MetLife Stadium at 9 p.m. So that's another video that's coming out for you guys. I'll be there showing off the environment, showing off. And I'm going to bring this clip up, and I'm going to show these Uruguay fans, hey, I'm counting on you. Darwin, my Benfica legend, I'm counting on you. Now let's move on to the Euro. Germany, France, Spain, England, Netherlands. Don't forget about my Portugal. Germany, obviously the hosts. They're going to be the team to beat. It's going to be extremely tough to beat them. Spain is always good, but do they have that special push at the end? England is favorites every damn year, every damn competition, World Cup, Euro, whatever it is. England are favorites, England are favorites, England are favorites. Is this the year that they finally come around? Is this the year that they finally put it all together and can figure it all out and get themselves back on top of European football? Netherlands gave Argentina work in the World Cup. They triggered Messi. Were they the reason that Messi got that spark lit under him? Were they the reason that Messi won the World Cup? Obviously, my heart is with Portugal. Portugal. I think that Ronnie could do it. I think we have the best team that we've had in years. Roberto Martinez, I was extremely nervous when we first got him from Belgium. However, he's been beasting and feasting with his Portugal team. But France are far too good. I will never bet against France. I think that if it's not Germany, obviously they're the host. They're going to be an extremely tough beat. But I think that France is going to go out and is going to win this. So I'm going to say France for the Euros, Uruguay for the Copa America. However, I told you guys earlier, Copa America final, July 14th. Euro final, July 14th. 3 p.m. Eastern time here in the U.S. Can you imagine? Ronaldo wins the Euro early on in the day, and then later that night, Messi wins the Copa America. I feel like that is the way that the world would end. Okay? It would be the end of this simulation that we're all living in. You watch Ronaldo lift up the Euro trophy at around 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then later that night at 10 p.m., 5 hours later, you see Messi lifting the Copa America. I feel like if this happens, as soon as he lifts the Copa America, it would just be a light, an explosion. It would be the end of the world. And the simulation would be over. Messi and Ronaldo both go out on top. And I would absolutely love to see it. And now with the final trophy of 2024, we have the World Series. This usually happens in November. Dodgers, clear favorites. Obviously, they just went out and got Shohei. The Braves have something to say about it. The Astros have something to say about it. The Phillies have something to say about it. But my New York Yankees with Juan Soto every year is our year. Till it isn't, the Yankees win in the World Series. Signed, sealed, delivered. The Dodgers have way too much pressure on them. Everybody's looking at them saying, oh, you got to win it this year. You got to win it this year. You just went out and invested $1.3 billion. And probably more when they re-signed Kershaw. Everybody's looking at you, Dodgers. But don't forget about who did it first and who does it better. And that's the New York Yankees. Yankees winning the World Series, goddammit. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for watching this video. If you made it this far, I love you. 2024 is our year. Smash the like button. Hit the sub button. Let's take over together. Now I'm going to go stream on Twitch. If you want, you can come watch. I'll leave all my links down below. And let me know. Am I right? Am I wrong? Where am I right? Where am I wrong? Drop your predictions or come through the Twitch chat and tell me your predictions. I'll catch you guys in the next video, which will be tomorrow because we're posting every damn